I'm Derek Joyce and I'm here with Paul Amwerda, and this is I'm Not the Expert, but this is a podcast where we'll discuss everything from the most complex ideas that we know nothing about to the simplest ideas that we probably know nothing about either. So put the kettle on, get comfy and join us.
So anyway, Dad, do you remember we were out having coffee about 2 weeks ago and I had Logan with me?
Yeah.
And do you remember he posed the question to us and we looked at each other completely baffled?
It was holidays, wasn't
It
it?
was around holidays, yeah. It was, what is the origin, or where does April Fools come from?
Oh, yeah.
Right, well, in attempting to answer it for him, right, I went right down a rabbit hole, right?
Good rabbit hole or conspiratorial
it's
rabbit hole?
fascinating. No, it's actually fascinating. So fascinating, in fact, that we're going to do a whole podcast on it right now. So, yeah.
Go. Before you get into it,
right,
you should probably give Logan a shout out for...
Absolutely, yeah. Listen, Logie, you're a legend. That was a great topic. And I've gone right down a rabbit hole here with lots of interesting information. So I'm sure when you're listening to this, you'll be on the couch in the kitchen with your cup of tea. And you're going to enjoy this one now, Logie, right? So This is for you, buddy.
And your dad told me that you're the sponsor of this podcast because you thought up the idea. So you owe us money. Good man.
Right, anyway, right, so there are several origin stories, right? Some of them are quite mundane, some of them are interesting, and I've just got
origin stories to April Fools.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same with the Medusa thing.
Yeah.
I just zoomed in on something that triggered. Yeah.
So there's a few of them are quite interesting, so I'm going to go with these couple that we have anyway, and they're from various periods of history, right? The earliest one seems to be ancient Rome.
Okay.
Right? And the festival of Hilaria, right, as in hilarious, Latin for joy. Right, so followers of the cult of Sybil, right, or the Magna Mater as she was also known.
Sybil.
Like
Sybil Faulty,
yeah.
Basil's wife.
Yeah, Sybil.
Okay.
Now it's spelled C-Y-B-E-L, but I'm assuming
it's
that's
Sybil. It's Sybil Faulty.
Right, anyway, yeah, so she's also known as Magna Mater, which is Latin for the Great Mother.
Okay.
Right, so anyways, followers of Sybil Faulty would dress in disguises every April and mock other citizens, even magistrates.
And that was like they didn't get punished for it.
No,
That's the same as in, they did it in The Life of Brian. There was a whole street of them. You know Monty Python's Life of Brian?
Yeah,
there's a whole street of them.
Not the Messiah.
And Brian is trying to hide from the soldiers chasing him, so he joins them. And they did it. They did it in Gladiator.
Yeah.
Do you remember Maximum, Decimus Meridius, whatever his fucking name is, makes a show of the emperor in the Colosseum.
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
Yeah. No, that's long before. That was North Africa. I mean, when he talks. When Caesar does his thumb down to kill the guy and Maximus doesn't kill him and makes a show and Caesar comes down to him and he turns his back on him.
Yeah.
After that episode, all the street vendors and theatre actors are making a show of Caesar and Maximus by being comedic about it. And they're not getting punished by the legislators and the government because it's freedom of expression. It's freedom of art and First Amendment, I suppose.
Yeah. In ancient Roman times.
Yeah, there you go. So it all comes from somewhere.
Yeah, and those guys would have been followers of the cult of Sybil then.
Yeah.
You know, most likely. Like, that's one of the earliest kind of representations of what we come to know now as political lampoon and the likes of Spitting Image, or, you know.
Yeah, I love Spitting Image.
I absolutely adore that.
Who was your favourite character in Spitting Image? That was written by, what's his face? Ben Elton. Yeah, he was a big writer on that.
Voiced. You know who done a lot of the voices on that?
Who?
You know Rimmer from Red Dwarf, Chris Barry?
Yeah.
He done Ronald Reagan, he done...
Ronald Reagan now was my favourite one.
Brilliant, yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
But it's gas. I actually watched it back, like you can get it on BritBox and stuff online.
Yeah.
I actually watched it back, and now looking at it, you can actually see Chris Barry. You can actually, like you'd actually know it was him. He done Reagan.
Can you imagine what lampooning would be done by Spitting Image of governments today?
Well, they have done. They brought out one in 2020. Did you not see it?
No.
They brought.
Well,
There's no
even
spitting in the fact
2020
of
is
life.
old by
Yeah.
UK standards,
Oh, you
considering
can't-
the
yeah,
government
yeah.
changes that have gone on.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what they'd be doing?
Yeah,
and
no,
can
they
you
done-
imagine the fucking fun they would have with Boris Johnson?
Oh, they have. They've had
Jesus,
great.
that'd be right.
You have to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Now. Donald Trump and Boris Johnson.
Trump would be great as
Absolutely.
well,
Oh,
yeah.
they're brilliant, right?
Family Guy did it great.
Trump has a new best friend in it. It's this green glob called Roni. Jesus. Caroni. Yeah. It's his best friend. Oh, it's hilarious. Well, some of it's hilarious. Jurgen Klopp. Very funny.
Yeah,
Very funny.
yeah.
He's just Mr. Nice Guy. People sending him boxes of excrement. He's like, oh, look at this lovely present that I got today. He's just a total nice guy, but very funny. Yeah, no, some of them are brilliant. Some of them are
Yeah.
really, really good, but they're not as good as the old days. It's
It
not.
never
it never
is,
is.
no.
It never is. It never is. Now, so anyway, yeah, so Spitting Image. Jesus, that's really brought me back. Anyway, right, so one of the more kind of solid and more recent, well, when compared to ancient Rome, origins of what we know now as April 1st would have been from France in 1582. The Julian calendar became the Gregorian calendar,
Okay.
and that was done because of an underestimation of the actual time that it takes the
Yeah.
Earth.
Okay. Before you go there,
Yeah.
why was it Julian and why Gregorian?
Okay. Well, Julian was Julius Caesar.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that was
Fair
his,
enough. All right.
You know, that was his calendar, and then July is also Julius. That's his month.
Is
His
it?
birth-
I thought
yeah.
that was gods. I thought that was
No,
all gods.
No, I think it is when you. Oh, I don't know, but I know Julian is definitely Julius
Maybe.
Caesar. July is Julius Caesar. August,
Yeah.
Augustus.
No, I thought it was all gods. I'll have to look that up now.
There's another one that we can have a look into,
Yeah.
you know, for one of these days. Anyway, yeah, so they went from the Julian to the Gregorian, and Gregorian is Pope Gregory.
Right.
Right,
Nothing
so-
to do with the monks.
No.
Although it's probably something to do with the monks in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, because
they
they're
were
probably
monks.
called
Yeah,
after
yeah,
him
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so Gregorian calendar basically, it was Julian calendar had basically underestimated how long it takes the Earth to circumnavigate the Sun. To orbit.
Yeah, circumnavigate. What is that, a fucking
Circumnavigate
ship?
To orbit the Sun, right? And they were out by about 0.0075 of a day per year,
Okay.
right? Which over the course of a century, that's almost a day and a bit.
Adds up. Yeah, yeah.
Right. So, and basically, it was because the spring equinox was moving further and further away from March 21st every year,
Okay.
which is significant for Christians because Easter falls X number of days. It's a complex algorithm that they use to calculate it, but it's X number of days each year after spring equinox. But they wanted as close.
Is it not 40?
I'm not sure. No,
Well, that's Lent.
I think it's variable.
Okay.
I think it's variable. So basically, for whatever reason, the Christians want March 21st to fall on or around spring equinox because that is the date that they calculate. It's X amount of days after March 21st.
Okay.
Is Easter Sunday.
And what the fucking Christians want, the fucking Christians get. Right, fair enough.
Exactly, right. So that's, yeah, so the whole world changed. But what happened then was, as a knock-on effect of the change, March 21st used to be New Year's Day,
Right.
right?
Okay.
Spring equinox, New Year, longest day of the year, blah, blah, all that stuff, right? When the calendar switched, January 1st became the New Year. Now, in France, there was a pushback against that by a certain cohort of non-conformists who continued for a number of years to celebrate New Year on the last week of March.
Okay.
It was a week-long celebration.
The beginning of April.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
would end on the 1st of April was the
Right.
last day of celebrations. So the conformists, the Gregorian conformists, would have made fun of the Julian non-conformists
Right,
who
yeah.
wanted to continue to have New Year in April. And they would make fun of them by sticking paper fish on their back, unbeknownst to them obviously.
Okay.
And the symbol of that was that it was a young, gullible fish easily caught.
That must be
A fool.
in school or in any job you go to or anything like that. You used to have the kick me signs that you'd stick on the back of the kid with glasses.
Yeah,
That
that's
must be a
pretty
derivative
much
of it.
the origin
yeah,
of that, and we're going to see even more of that now as we go on, right?
Yeah.
In the 18th century in Scotland, Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, hang on. Before we move on, see, there you go, pushing me ahead now.
Sorry, man.
Before we move on, right? It was known as Poisson d'Avril, which
Okay.
is April fish, right?
April fish.
Yeah,
Okay. Because that makes perfect sense, France. Thanks.
yeah, but that's because they would stick paper fish on their back, which symbolised young, gullible, easily
Right,
caught,
yeah.
caught fish.
Is that
So,
where it comes?
it's easy to
Remember
catch
in
them.
Wayne's World, they used to
Yeah.
do fished in, like, somebody gullible got hooked in.
Yeah,
That-
that's
that must
exactly
be a
it.
yeah.
A young gullible fish
Yeah.
who wouldn't know that it's a hook and bait,
Yeah,
easily
yeah,
caught.
yeah.
So, and obviously their victims were
See,
easily caught.
Wayne's World was teaching us things.
Absolutely, that's a great movie. by the
Yeah,
way.
it is.
That is a great
Second
movie.
one, not
I
so
still
great.
quote it. Yeah, great idea for the second one. Just wasn't executed very well.
No,
Like, I
it
love the
wasn't.
whole Jim Morrison naked Indian in the desert thing. If you build it,
Yeah.
that was genius. But that is so quotable, that movie.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
so many quotes that
Yeah.
you can, like, Jesus. If she was a president, she'd be Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
That,
France, she'd be called La Renard, but only her cunning to protect her. Like, she's a fox. She's a babe.
yeah.
If she were in France, she'd be called La Renard.
Don't,
Yeah.
don't actually get that reference.
That's French for fox.
Ah,
Yeah,
right, okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
Jeez, I don't know a lot of French. I
Yeah, okay.
struggled with, like, Poisson d'Avril.
Yeah, you're doing okay.
Right, okay, anyway, right. Getting back to the kick me signs.
Right.
Right. Scotland in the 18th century, right, they have a tradition that began in the 18th century, I should say. It's a 2-day festival of fun, right? March the 31st is known as Hunting the Gowl.
Yeah.
The gowl is a Scottish word for cuckoo, right? It's a kind of a slang term for cuckoo,
Okay.
right? So you're hunting the cuckoo. What they mean by that is sending people on a fool's errand. So, you know, like in a building site, you're sent for the long stand.
Oh, yeah, or a
Or-
bucket stem.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
that kind of thing. That
Go over
actually
there
derives.
to the shed and get the
Yeah.
tartan paint.
Now, I've worked in jobs where that's been going on, and it's not very pleasant.
Not when
To be
you're on the
honest with
receiving
you.
end of
I
it.
know it can be funny and all that, but it can tend to get out of hand, and yeah, and it's usually vulnerable newbies or whatever who get picked on, and it's, you know,
Yeah, that's,
okay,
well,
maybe it builds character, but I don't know.
doesn't it? It's bollocks.
I don't know.
No.
No, I don't think so. It's,
It builds.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, how tolerated it is nowadays in the workplace. I mean, there's a lot of changes. To
Yeah,
what's allowed
I don't
now,
know.
what's tolerable.
I'm sure you'd have some old school, somebody or other.
I mean, geez, I worked in a
still doing
factory
it.
years ago, and they put a loaded mouse trap in my coat pocket.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was great fun.
Yeah,
like. Now,
fucking-
there
Well,
there
there's.
was some fallout for that.
Yeah,
I have
I'd
to
say.
now, in fairness, because that was pushing the envelope
Yeah.
a bit too far.
Yeah.
Now,
No,
lucky enough,
yeah,
I wasn't
but you'll
seriously
always
hurt,
like,
but, yeah.
and it is harmless fun, and I'm not saying it should be done,
Mm.
but they go over there and get a bucket of steam.
Yeah.
If it's pissing rain and it's freezing out, you don't send somebody for a fucking long stand.
No.
You know, that's where it gets malicious.
Yeah, no, it is, absolutely.
And
yeah.
you'll always have some fucker who pushes it too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
And that's where it becomes a problem.
That's where you end up with
It
a
was
mouse
always
trap in your
it's
coat
always
pocket,
a little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
of consternation around it and a little bit of a problem.
Mm.
But some fucker pushing it too far is where it creates a huge problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, right. And then now, and April 4th then in Scotland in the 18th century was Tally Day, right? They would stick tails or kick me signs on the arses of people, unbeknownst to them. So that's,
So would that probably, you know, the pin the tail on the donkey thing
Yeah.
in parties,
yeah,
would that have something to do with it?
possibly.
Probably some
Possibly,
sort
I'm
of
not sure,
derivative
but
of it, yeah.
It does seem like a, yeah, so, and I just said Tally Day there, sorry, it's Taily Day, Tailie. Yeah, Taily Day.
Okay.
Right?
That's actually sounds like a very Scottish word.
It
doesn't
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Taily
yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
Terrible Scottish
No
accent.
offence,
And
Scotland.
I should be able to do a really good Scottish accent.
That was Paul doing it, not me.
I'm allowed to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
quarter Scottish. My
Okay.
grandmother on my dad's side was a very proud Paisley woman, and it was our 14th anniversary of her passing yesterday, so
Okay.
big shout out to me Nanny Murray.
It was my nanny's 25th anniversary last Sunday.
Oh no way,
Yeah,
so shout
there you
out to
go.
Dell's nanny
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, no, my Nanny Murray, right, if memory serves me, she was evacuated during the Second World War to Dublin. Right, now her parents were both Irish. They emigrated to Scotland. Then she was evacuated back during the Second World War. She never lost her accent. She spoke like a born and bred Glaswegian for her entire life.
Good for her.
And yeah, it's really mad because like I went to Liverpool for the weekend and I came back talking like that.
Sorry, Liverpool, that was Paul again.
No, here, I'm not having that apology,
Yeah,
mate.
right.
I've got a really good Scottish accent, me. Alright?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do. I go anywhere and I come back talking like a
No,
native.
everywhere I've been in the world, my accent has just gotten thicker.
Has it?
Yeah.
No, I'm
yeah,
complete.
yeah.
I
And
lose
it's
my
not.
accent.
It's not. You go somewhere in Irish and how are you and all that, and
Yeah.
you just talk in your normal, natural brogue,
No, I
and it
tend to
just
pick
doesn't
up,
break.
like, I've even, like, not a word of a lie, I was talking to two lads from the north in a beer garden one night, and by the end of the conversation I was starting to slip into like a
Yeah, do you not get your fucking head boxed in for that?
No, I don't think they even noticed. It just I had noticed
Yeah.
a couple of words and the way I pronounced them wasn't the way I'd normally pronounce them. And that's just from having a conversation with
That
someone.
get you
But they do
box
say
around the
that
ears.
comes from a musical ear. If you can pick up music, just kind of by listening.
Yeah, yeah. Do you
that,
play musical instruments?
I do. I play keyboards. I play ukulele.
Do
I'm
you?
self-taught on both. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
so
sing?
there you go. No, I haven't.
I never want an example.
I have not got a note in my head.
Right,
And I
okay.
love doing karaoke, right? I do. I'm so bad. Now, I thought I was a marginally better. Like, I certainly knew I wasn't a great singer. It was only when I seen video of myself back in karaoke a few years ago that I realised how bad I am as a singer.
I'm never going to the pub with you.
Really
I'm
bad
never
singer,
going to the pub.
right? Really bad singer, and I don't do karaoke anymore. I love doing it, but no, I just realised
I've
no.
never
Make it
done
an
wanted. I've never
absolute
wanted to do. I've
show
never
of
been
myself.
talked into it. Nothing.
I've loved it, loved doing it, but no.
I was away on holidays in the Canary Islands years ago with two of my mates, and we got late holiday in September for a week.
Right,
So
yeah,
we were
yeah.
like, fuck it, couple of £100. Off we go.
Yeah.
We were sitting in a bar, and they hand around. It's like a menu or a wine list, but it's a list of songs.
Yeah.
And it's karaoke.
Cool,
It's like,
yeah,
which
yeah.
one do you want to do? And got to the three of us, and it was put on the table, and my mate opened it, and he was like, what song are you going to do? And I was like, I'm not fucking doing a song. And he was like, you're not going to do it? And I went, no. And the other lad said, I'm not doing it either. And he goes, I know, I'll give it a go. Sang like a fucking angel.
Yeah.
Jesus, the voice on him. And like, he won the night, because it's an open mic.
Yeah, yeah.
He won the night.
Open
And he had to go
competition.
back the next night, and he won that too. And he went back, and these are all different songs he's singing. Went back the third night, and it was the final, and the bar owner's wife, who was a professional singer, came in, and she got all the votes. Like pure fucking fix. They're just getting bodies in, getting mouths in to drink. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But I never forgot. And
No
then
way.
I was like, fucking, where did you learn to sing, man? Then he told me that he'd been on RTE in the 90s with his band. Fucking lunatic, yeah.
Hey, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I've done loads of karaoke when we were abroad. Actually, funny enough, that actually does remind me. We were in, where was it? Lanzarote, Port of Carmen, right? And the week we arrived, it was an Irish couple, young Irish couple, they would have been in their early 20s, whatever, had just bought a bar over there, and they were turning it into an Irish bar. So as it turned out, myself and my partner and the kids were the first customers to ever walk into it when they owned it. And it was very quiet, there wasn't many people in, and they'd done a bit of karaoke and whatever. Of course, I was up singing and all that. And then, for the whole week we were there, we just kept going back because we got talking to them, and got to know the bar staff, and we kept going back, and there wasn't many people, But I had noticed on like the first or second night we went in, there was a Roland keyboard, right? Hanging above the bar. Like just hanging on the wall above the bar. So by the end of the holiday anyway, and they knew it was there last night, and it was kind of like, everything's on the house. They didn't even take money off us for the last night because we had been going in regularly every single day supporting them, And we were sitting with them then, for the whole night drinking with them. And I said to them, does that keyboard work? And they were like, we don't know. It was there when we bought the pub, But the power lead's out the back, but we get it down and see. And I said, yeah, go on, put it down for the crack, you know what I mean? So took it down, and I started playing and whatever, maybe had a bit of a sing-song. And I said to your one, I said, I'll give you 100. You know, this thing's worth about 2.5 grand, 3 grand worth of keyboard, like, you know what I mean? It was old, it wasn't a brand new model. But it was, you know, I'd say new was about 2.5 grand, probably worth 500-600 quid. And they were kind of looking at each other and they were like, they went off and talked about it out the back, you know. And then she goes back out and she goes, I tell you what, I know how much it's worth, she says, but go on, you can have it for 100 quid. Now it cost me nearly as much again to put it on the plane.
I was about to say, it wouldn't cost you money.
Which hadn't even, we were drinking all, I hadn't even dawned on me, you know, how am I getting this home? Like, I'm not just, you know, jumping on a bus. But yeah, it cost me nearly as much to get home. I still have that keyboard today and I still play it. And that's going back now. Logan was about 18 months old, so that's 14 years ago.
Yeah. So what songs do you play?
A bit of everything. I play Texas, bit of Beatles, kind of music that I like. I learned to play, but a lot of keyboard books back in the day. Taught myself to read music. Now
I can't read music. I can read tab. I can't read music.
I can read notes. Like if you put a piece of music in front of me that I know the tune, I know which keys to press for which note.
Okay, but that's not reading notes. That's going from memory.
Well, no, but I know which note corresponds with which key on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Right, but lengths of note, rhythm, stuff like that, I'd have to be familiar with the tune.
Yeah, okay.
You know, that way.
Yeah.
But so I play a little bit. I'm just a hobbyist. I'm not a professional in any shape or form. Love playing the ukulele now. That's me now. That was my lockdown thing.
Oh, right, okay.
The kids were learning ukulele in school, and they come home one day with 2 borrowed, you know, ukuleles. They all got a ukulele in school, like to bring home and practice. Well, I picked it up one day. I said, well, I'm going to go on YouTube here and see if I can get a tutorial. And within half an hour, I was playing Yellow Submarine, like.
Yeah.
You know, some great tutorials online.
You'll get any of them on YouTube.
And now I have pretty much all of the chords learned. So now I just go on to like the likes of Ultimate Guitar or whatever, look up the chords for a song, and actually there, just before we came over today, Blur released a new song yesterday. I learned to play it in about 3 minutes this morning, just before we came over.
Yeah.
So there you go, so that's my little hobby, you know. Now it drives Lisa and the kids mad, in fairness, it does. They're always like, we just put the second thing down. It's not the most melodious instrument. Like it is.
No, it's not, and
it isn't. Like, you know, I've got to get myself a guitar. Like I tried to learn guitar.
That's a whole different beast.
I know it is, but it's. I think I can probably, maybe not as quickly and easily as I've learned the uke, but I tried guitar years ago.
You even have the shorthand phrase down for it.
What, the uke?
The
uke,
yeah.
Yeah, I've a deadly uke. It's a Yellow Submarine printed one. It's pretty cool. Got it on Amazon. Yeah, no, I tried to learn guitar years ago. Right, and my hands just wouldn't make the chord shapes. They just wouldn't stretch and all that. But I think now, with having done the uke and kind of getting used to doing chord shapes, it might make the guitar a little bit easier.
Also, your brain would be more developed.
Yeah, well, this is it as well. Yeah, so, like, I knew where the fingers were meant to go. It was just literally physically getting them to make those shapes.
But there's
so difficult.
There's things you can get in music shops to exercise your hand and spread your fingers.
Yeah,
and
we've got loads of those squeezy balls at home because Logan loves balls.
It's not even squeezy balls. There's the thing you put. It's like thimbles, and you put them all on the tips of your fingers, and they're connected together at the middle, and you stretch your fingers out, and they're still connected. So you're getting reverse tension as opposed to just squeezing them. And that builds up the what is it, the metacarpals.
There's resistance in them, like elastics or whatever. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, no, there's loads of stuff like that now. Deadly. When I was a kid learning guitar, and I haven't played it in years, it was, if you want stiffer fingers, soak your fingers, the tips of your fingers, in vinegar. Right. Fucking stink off your hands. And it'd keep me awake. It was like sleeping in a chipper.
I'm holding up my hands to Dell here, actually, just on camera. You can see all the little, what's the word I'm looking for? Calluses.
Yeah.
From playing the ukulele.
Yeah, there you go.
Loads of them. But some interesting and funny April Fool's pranks that have been like kind of high profile April Fool's pranks that have been pulled over the years, right? In 1992, NPR, National Public Radio in America, announced Richard Nixon, and I'm doing inverted commas in the air here, Richard Nixon announced his intention to run for president again in 1992.
The Richard Nixon.
No, it was
No,
an actor.
but it was an actor playing the Richard
The
Nixon.
Richard Nixon,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Announced that he was going. That caused absolute meltdown. You might remember this one, Del, in 2010, I'm gonna say, when Lansdowne Road was being redeveloped into the Aviva. They didn't have the naming rights or anything done by that time, and on April 4th, the Evening Herald ran a story that the naming rights had been sold to British Telecom.
Yeah.
And Lansdowne Road was going to become the British Telecom Stadium.
I'd never heard that.
You know, yeah.
I'd have fucking
ran in the Herald.
flipped out.
I was at, my blood was boiling reading it. They gave it away at the end. I'd say probably intentionally so that there wouldn't be a massive bloody fallout.
So there wouldn't be a riot.
Yeah, the end of the article ended with, it is expected that Queen Elizabeth II will open the stadium early next year.
Can you fucking imagine? Jesus.
For anyone of our international listeners, this is the stadium where both the Irish rugby and football teams play.
Yeah.
Can you imagine calling that British Telecom Stadium? Yeah, that would have gone down incredibly well, yeah. And then the other one, Del, you being a blue and all that.
Oh, fuck off.
Shoot magazine in 1989, April 4th issue.
I've never ever owned any issue.
Have you?
At all.
I used to get
Never.
it religiously every week. My grandmother, God rest her, my other grandmother, not my Scottish one, my other grandmother, Mrs. King, she used to buy me and my cousin our issue of Shoot every single week religiously. But on the April 1st edition of Shoot magazine, 1989, Ian Rush on the front cover in an Everton jersey, and the headline was Transfer Shocker.
Fuck's
Ian Rush
sake.
moves to Everton, yeah. Bearing in mind, this is pre-Photoshop days, kind of,
Yeah,
I'm sure
so-
they would have had kind of ways of doing that, but they didn't. They actually got Ian Rush in. I was only reading it there this morning. I never actually realised. I always assumed it was a Photoshop job. No, they actually got him in to do it, so he was in on the gag, and they got him in to pose in an Everton jersey.
That's he
That's
must have got
wrong.
he must have got permission for that.
Yeah.
Like you'd
Yeah, like you would have to.
yeah.
But bear in mind, like Shoot's target audience was 10-year-olds, 10,
Yeah,
11-year-olds, like.
That's a mean fucking
Oh,
thing
my
to do
heart
to
went
kids.
across. I cried my eyes out. And I know from talking to other Liverpool fans down the years, it's something that always pops up around April 1st. And like, so many, people were devastated. And then bear in mind, only a couple of years later, it was announced, and it was around April Fool's Day as well, that Kenny Dalglish was retiring. And people thought that's April Fool's again.
But he
That
was
has to
actually
be-
retiring.
No, he genuinely was, yeah. But it was like, that's an April Fool joke.
Has there ever been a player that's come across the park?
Oh, there has.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Gary Ablett was one, Del. He
Yeah.
went across the park. Peter Beardsley would have been another.
That's right.
That broke my heart. He was
Yeah.
he was a stunning player, Peter Beardsley. I can't think of anyone going the other direction, mind you. Anyone come from us to use? Or from us to us, rather?
I don't know.
I honestly can't think of any Liverpool fans.
I don't know,
on the
but
back of a fiver to
I'm not
to me.
big on my football knowledge. Anyway.
Yeah. I might be a bit of a statistician when it comes to that stuff now
Yeah,
myself.
no, I don't
but,
do that. I just get anxious about my fucking team.
Yeah, I have to be honest, right? As a Liverpool fan, Del, I really wanted Everton to go down. But I've seen over the last few weeks the impact it's having on you, and it's not really.
It's anxiety, man.
I'm rooting for them to stay up.
No one in my family understands it because they're all like, oh, we didn't fucking make Europe, or we didn't win the Champions League, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good.
So I know what you're going through, and it's like you fucking don't.
Yeah.
You've no idea. It's not.
No, I can't.
We
imagine
just
it.
missed out on Europe.
I do remember actually in 2000, Bowes ended up in the relegation playoff.
Are you equating Irish football to English football? Because our league sucks.
Oh, I'm not standing for that.
It's
I'm not having
vastly underfunded.
that.
Sucks.
If Bowes were playing Liverpool tomorrow, I'd be screaming for Bowes.
I'm sure you would.
100%.
But the quality would just
they're
be
my first love. Bowes.
is that's like.
It's a lot better now than it used to be then.
And I see the Irish. I see a lot of the Irish boys playing for the Irish team, like who play in the Irish league, and they're fantastic. But
they very rarely get an Ireland call up while they're playing in the league, which is an issue in itself.
It's
No.
it's not the
Well, you
squads
get-
that I'm having a go at. It's
Evan
the funding.
Ferguson.
It's
Evan
the funding.
Ferguson was playing League of Ireland football last year.
Yeah, but how many of
Last
them
year.
go across?
He
I
made
mean,
his
I
bold
know
debut
there's
at
been
14.
Roy Keane and there's been Seamus
Yeah,
Coleman.
but see, it's all changed now because of, well, there's a few different reasons for that now, right? You have Brexit and the rules around that. They can't go over till they're 18 now,
Yeah,
right? Then you've got all the money in the Premier League now. They don't need the next Roy Keane or the next, fucking Robbie Keane. They can go and buy the finished article now anywhere in the world.
but I'm not talking about that. Their funding. I'm talking about Ireland's funding of the Irish
Oh,
League.
no, I know, that's what I'm
That's
saying.
the problem.
Yeah.
That's
What
when
I'm
I
saying
say
is
it sucks. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah,
I
big
don't mean
time.
the team suck. The lads I think are great.
facilities are the big issue.
Facilities, funding.
Yeah, I mean, as it is now, right, Dalymount Park holds, I think it's 3,800, something around that, right? That's at the lower end of the league, unfortunately, because it's in bad need of redevelopment, and steps are being taken through DCC and stuff to get that done. We're looking at a good few years, yeah. Now, I couldn't get a ticket all of last season. Couldn't, for the love nor money, could I get a ticket for Dalymount Park last season. I hadn't got a membership or a season ticket. Now this year they've opened an away stand on the Connacht Street side that holds 450. So that's for away fans, freeing up behind the goal the Des Kelly stand for home fans this season. So I've been lucky enough to be able to get tickets in there fairly comfortably. But it's still selling out every week.
I'm not saying that's like, and it's...
Yeah, no, I'm going somewhere,
Okay.
right? So, demand is there.
Yeah.
Right? Unquestionably. We took 8,000 to the Aviva 3 times in a week during COVID because it was limited to 8,000 because of COVID, right? We took 8,000 3 times in a week, no problem. We got to the cup final last year, there was 38,000 on it.
Okay.
So demand is there. It's absolutely there, right? Quality has gone up for the reasons I've just mentioned there with the Premier League. So players are staying here longer. They're not going as kids anymore. Some of them aren't going at all. The ones who do go were getting ripped off, right? And Damien Duff was only talking about this yesterday, and I'm going to put it out there straight away. I'm not a fan of Damien Duff. I don't like the man as a
like the
manager.
guy. Yeah, I
don't
like
the guy as a manager, but I am 100% on board with what he said this week. He said they think we're cavemen over here, right? An agent got in touch with him and asked him if they use GPS locators on the players over here. The training.
Their bras and stuff like that.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Of course we're using that sort of stuff, Because what do you think we are, cavemen? But what he was talking about then was they're coming in here, the lower league English clubs, right? They're offering great wages compared to what we're able to offer here, right? But the transfer fees are buttons.
Yeah.
And the agents are driving that. They're absolutely driving that. Like our best players. Look at Evan Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
Evan Ferguson went from Bows to Brighton for probably 10 grand. We even got that from him. Now they're talking about him going for £100 million. Now Bows get 10% of that.
Yeah.
Lucky enough,
well,
they got a sell-on clause, but 10 grand down.
That's all obscene. I think that's all obscene anyway. But everything you've mentioned is not what I'm talking about.
Right, you're on about funding from the government.
Government funding of the leagues sucks.
Absolutely.
And it's just been in the bin for years.
Well, that's where I was going with the facilities, because clubs can't afford to do any better.
That's
with
what I mean.
facilities.
And
you look what racehorse, horse racing's getting. Look what greyhounds getting. Look what the GAA get.
And that's all fucking obscene on a whole different level anyway. Because it's just cruelty bullshit.
Yeah. Well, the GAA isn't so much, but the horse racing.
the horse racing.
But even take the animal cruelty side out of it, and I am not in any way putting that to the side, but just saying even that aside, the participation, the numbers participating in those sports compared to the numbers participating in football, right? And the disparity in the funding for horse racing is getting millions more than football, and there's literally millions more people involved in
greyhound
football
racing's getting millions more than fucking but you see the thing is you can dispose of a horse or a dog much quicker and without being watched by officials or something much quicker, and you should never be able to get rid of either.
No.
But than you would with
Yeah.
a
footballer.
sports person.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So you can fucking, once it's got
Yeah.
4 legs,
Yeah.
take it out the back, man,
Yeah,
and dispose of it.
No, it's interesting you actually put it like that. I never actually thought of it like that, and I do understand fully what you're saying about, you know, the animals that aren't up to scratch are usually destroyed. Like,
Yeah.
it's sickening. Can you imagine that? You didn't score 20 goals this season, take him out the back. And
Yeah, take him out the back.
Gee, but that's...
Can you imagine returning and being put out to stud?
Yeah, but that's...
That'd be a crack.
Yeah, well, I basically have been now at this stage.
Yeah, you wish.